and welcome to week number 4 of Heartfelt Resilience. So our theme for this week is that of essence and expansion. Building on everything that we've been doing so far, we now come to the invitation to take an approach of deep integration of everything that we've done. So we've worked on sanctuary, we've worked on being able to go deep inside, we've worked on curiosity, like exploring the space around us, we've worked on levity and ease, and especially in our recovery pathways to bring ourselves back to sanctuary. And now today or this week, we're going to take that and see if we can take that circle of wholeness and resilience and stretch it a little bit further. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a much harder practice. I think it's on par with the previous week, but we go into a space where we work a little bit more with back bend. So there's a bit more of a heart opening and belly opening, which brings us deeper into vulnerability. And the challenge today is, can you stay connected to your essence as much as you allow yourself to expand? Because there's vulnerability when we open the space up in that way. So you can think of your essence as being able to connect to your core, and then your expansion is finding connected reach, so that even as you open up, you never lose connection to what sits at the center of you. So what I'd like for you to imagine is almost a cloud. A cloud is always water vapor, and that is the essence of the cloud. And the cloud can take any shape, it can go to any height, it can even be fog on the ground, and its expression or its expansion will always look different, but at its core or at its essence, it's always the same. So today we'll be playing with that concept and then bringing it into the body by working with the core itself physically, to find connection, but then also working with some standing back bends and arm balance back bends to find our expansion. So to get ready for this class, all you might need is a bolster towards the end, maybe a pillow for the back of your head. I don't think there's any blocks needed. And then we'll find ourselves starting this class this week by lying on our backs. So lying on your back, maybe your fingers can touch your heels. If you have super long arms, maybe they go past. If you have really short arms, maybe they don't touch. But just the heels comfortably close to the hips and the hands resting on the belly, and allowing the index and the thumbs to touch, so you have this triangle shape that you place from the pubic bone up towards your navel. So allow your elbows to be soft here. Take a nice deep breath. And see if you can breathe down into your pelvis, almost like the Dantian breath. So activating the breath all the way down to the lower energy centers. On your next exhalation, there's a pulling down of the belly button and a gentle pressing through the heels, so that you feel your sitting bones tilt the hips down into the belly and maybe gently lift at the back. And then as you inhale, you let the lower back release, the hip bones lift back up. And then as you exhale, you roll your hip bones back down. We're not lifting the hips. So my pelvis stays on the ground. All I'm doing is finding this tilt in the pelvic bone itself. So again, as you exhale, feel your hip bones roll down. As you inhale, feel your hip bones lift. And you can do a few more of these, and every time you exhale, you find more connection to the lower part of your core. So instead of belly squishing together and rising up, you almost want to feel it flatten out and down and wide. Doing 2 more. So inhale, lift. Exhale, belly button flattens and broadens. And last time, inhale, lift. And exhale, belly button flattens and broadens. Hold the activation here. Feel that connection between your ribs and your hips and the center of your belly flattening down into the floor. Holding 2 more deep breaths. And then seeing if you can keep that activation of lower back to the floor as you gently rise your heels up. And then inhale, extend the legs up towards the sky. Here, if you need to, if the hamstrings are very tight, you can bend the knees and keep them at this 90-degree angle. Otherwise, if you like, extend the legs up, keep the core connection, hands go behind your back. On the inhalation, the elbows rise towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, see if you can flatten belly down, lift your elbows towards your knees. Maybe pull your knees closer to your elbows, touching once. And release. Right leg goes down, left leg stays up. Take a deep breath in as you exhale. Bring both elbows to the outside of the left leg, holding 1, 2, and 3. Release. Inhale, bring the right leg up. Good. We switch side. Left leg comes down. Exhale. Bring yourself over, holding 3, 2, and 1. Roll the back down. Bring the left leg up. From here, the legs go wide. Where the knees are bent or legs are straight, legs go wide. And wherever you are, also see if you can kick out through your heels. Take a deep breath in as we exhale, lifting elbows forward, belly flattens down, holding 3, 2, and 1. Bring the legs back up together. And last one, as you exhale, bring the knees and elbows together, holding 3, 2, and 1. Release it down, bend the knees, hands to the floor. And again, see if you can sit your heels close to your fingertips. Hands resting in a triangle across the pelvis. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, roll the lower back into the floor. And inhale, roll it up. So just with your breath, finding a little movement in the pelvis once more. And then as you exhale, roll the lower back to the ground. Firm your heels into the mat. Release your hands by your sides. And then as you inhale, half lift, bringing the pelvis up. So here we want to make sure that we're not crunching into the lower back. So we feel like we're pulling the hip bones towards the ribs, and then gently push through the heels a little bit more to find your bridge pose and to find strong activation through the buttocks. Really squeeze through the buttocks, holding 3, 2, 1, and then see if you can soften the buttocks. Keep the hips where they are and just feel like the belly is drawing in to keep the hips lifted. Wiggle your left foot a little bit closer to center. And then see if you can stretch right foot up. Maybe the knee bends, but holding here, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the right foot down, set it onto the floor, switch sides, find the balance, lift the hips higher, lifting 3, 2, and 1. Good. Roll both the hips down, bring both the knees up. Bring your hands onto your knees and gently rock from side to side. Taking deep, full belly breaths here, breathing into your navel. Good. And then knees come together, ankles cross. We find ourselves rocking up. And from here, you can either swing both legs through or make your way into a table pose any way that feels good to you. In table pose, we'll find that lift and that connection to our center once more. So we're going to press the tops of the feet down very, very strongly, and then push through the hands, lift through the belly, but without rounding the spine. So we're not trying to do this. We keep our heart reaching forwards. You can even take a little bend in the elbows as you push down through all 10 of your fingers. And then we'll simply float the knees up 2 or 3 centimeters above the mat. Don't go too high. Otherwise, there's a lot of spinal compensation, and we're trying to get deep into the core. So push through the feet, push through the hand, float the knees up, collarbones reach forward, holding 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, knees down. Inhale into your cow pose, tuck your toes under, and then very gently just rock your body from back to front. So now we just loosen up that space, keeping it a little bit soft so we have access to our strength and our softness. And then one more time, tops of the feet down, collarbones forward, elbows a little bit bent, reaching towards the front. Draw in through the belly, take a deep breath, and then as you exhale, press through the hands and the feet, float the knees up, holding 3, 2, and 1. Release the knees down. From here, we'll move into our supported side plank. So left toes switch off the mat and they tuck under. Left hand and left knee stay in line. Right foot in line with left knee. And open yourself up into a simple supported side plank. You can look down towards the floor. Shoulder is ideally mostly above the wrist. Avoid being too close, but also avoid being too far. And then maybe you want to gaze up towards your top thumb to make sure the arm isn't going over, but straight up. From here, bring the hand to your belly, so that you can feel what your pelvis is doing. So hand onto the right hip. And then making sure the hips don't go back, we'll simply reach up through the right leg. Good. And then holding here, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release it down. Shake the hips from side to side, let everything soften and release. And then we'll move over to the other side. So right toes come off the mat, they tuck under. Find yourself sitting up, toes, knee, hand in line, and gently push the bottom hip forward by engaging your buttocks, feeling the left hip open. Arm reaches up, we first look up, holding for 2-3 breaths as we find a little bit of opening and stability in that bottom hand. And then drawing the belly in, hand to the hip bone. See if you can lift up without going backwards. So you keep pushing forwards, keep reaching heel out, keep drawing belly in, chest open. Holding 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release it down. Back into your table pose. Shake the hips a little bit from side to side. And then from here, exhale into easy down dog. Lifting through the hips, drawing in through the belly, keeping that core connection as you lift both your heels high and bend through the knees. As you exhale, push both heels down, push back into the feet, and then as you inhale, roll forward into your plank pose. From here, as you exhale, knees, chest, chin down. Inhaling into cobra, stretching through the belly. Exhale, bring your chest all the way to the ground. Toes tuck under. Hands under the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. And then from here we push up into plank pose and back into downward facing dog. We'll do 2 more of those. So inhale, roll forwards into plank. And here, if you don't want to knees, chest, chin, you're welcome to exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. A little bit of a deeper back bend. Come back into plank. Exhale down to the belly. Again, inhale, pushing up into plank. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Taking 1 more deep breath here, we'll flow 1 more time. Inhale, rock forwards into plank. Exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale from your plank through chaturanga onto your belly. Inhale, pushing up through plank. Exhale into down dog. And here in down dog, we'll take a few deep breaths, letting everything just lengthen out through the legs, the tailbone and the arms. And then on the next inhalation, we reach the right leg up, draw the belly in, and then as you exhale, bring knee to chest, and this time we hold, squeezing knee up. 3, 2, and 1. Step the foot in between the hands. Here we go. Coming up into your high lunge. So draw the belly in. Feel how drawing the belly in allows you to lengthen the collarbones forward. Contract your back. Arms swing towards the front, swinging all the way up, bringing you all the way up into your high lunge. Back heel is lifted, back leg is straight. As you exhale, see if you can sink the hips a little bit lower. Lift a little bit more through your chest. 1 more deep breath. And then as you exhale, knee comes to chest, hands come to heart. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, left hand comes down to left ankle. And then inhale, find your dancer pose. So bend the standing knee if you need to. And then on the inhalation, you lift your heart, you reach your hands up, you kick your foot back, holding 1, 2, 3. Release, inhale, arms up, knee to chest. And then exhale, stepping back. Inhale, high lunge, arms come from the back forward. And then exhale, fingers to the floor. From here, we find ourselves going into supported plank. So supported plank means left knee towards the ground, right arm towards the sky. And then seeing if you can swing the foot a little bit more towards the hand, shifting the other foot out, and then finding yourself in stargazer pose. Open the heart towards the sky. And then slowly roll yourself back, coming into plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. 1 more deep breath here. And then inhale onto the balls of the feet. Lift the left toes towards the sky. Draw the belly in. Exhale, knee to chest, holding 3, 2, and 1. Step the foot forward in between the hands. Arms round the back as we inhale into high lunge. Exhale, sink the hips a little lower. Reach the back heel out. Lift through the chest, holding 3, 2, and 1. Hands to heart as you exhale, knee lifts. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, right hand to right knee. Bend the standing leg. As you inhale, reach forwards. Exhale, kick into the back leg. Inhale, lift through the chest. Holding 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, both arms up, together with the knee. Exhale, stepping back. Ooh, find your balance. And then inhale, arms reach up from the back to the front, high lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, we step back into side plank, taking supported side plank with the knee down. Inhale, open up. And then feel your right toes turn more towards your hand, switching your left leg out, and then push the hip forward to find yourself in stargazer pose. One more deep breath here. And then inhale, rolling back, finding plank. Exhale into downward facing dog. We'll do that flow one more time on each side. Feel the heat building in the body, shake out through the neck. This time you have the option of taking supported side plank, stargazer pose, or maybe full side plank, side star, and then into wild thing. Let's go. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee to chest, holding 3, 2, 1. Step it forward. Arms from the back to the front, finding your way into high lunge. Good. And then exhale, knee to chest. And inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, left hand into around left ankle. And then find your way forwards into dancer pose. Inhale as you draw your arms back up. Exhale as you step back, high lunge. Inhale, arms come from the back to the top. And exhale, fingers to the floor. Inhale, side plank here. You're welcome to drop the knee if you like. If you want the challenge, lift through your right leg. Holding 1, 2, 3. Step the foot behind. Drop the hips low. Slide the foot gently out as you exhale. And then on your inhalation, you push the hips up, lifting through the chest. Holding 3, 2, 1. Rolling back, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths here, almost done. See if you can find the breath connection, the core connection. 1 more breath. And then inhale, reach left leg up. Exhale, knee to chest, holding 1, 2, 3. Step it forward, hands from the back to the top. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, sink the hips low. 1 more breath. And then exhale, knee to chest, hands to heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right hand grabs right ankle. And then inhale, draw the knee into the center, reach forward, dancer pose. Inhale, arms reach up together with the knee. Exhale, step it back. Inhale, open the heart, high lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor and shift yourself over, side plank on the right. Here, if you want, side star, inhale, lifting 3, 2, 1. Step the foot down, slide the heel out as you exhale, and inhale, lift through your belly and your chest, counting 3, 2, and 1. Rolling back, drop your knees, open them wider, toes together, And then walk your hands forward, forehead to the mat. Sink your hips low onto your heels. And take a moment to really just feel the breath moving in and out. Feel your heart respond to the back bends and the heart openers. And can you feel the breath connected deep to the core of your body and your being? And can you anchor yourself here? As much as you allow yourself to open and expand and reach, and maybe taking new shapes or new expressions where you haven't been before. Can you keep yourself always lightly connected here to the center of your being, even as you explore new spaces? Feel yourself drawing deep into your center, softening your fingers and your toes. And then 2 more breaths before we move into the next pose, last pose for today, or last energy requiring pose for the day. And then slowly bring yourself up. And from here we'll play a little bit with headstand prep. So if headstand is part of your practice, you're welcome to play with the prep in the way that I show you and then go into your full headstand. You're also welcome to just play around with what is depending on how you're feeling today. Headstand requires us to find deep connection from our core into our foundation, but also our foundation is shifted. Normally our foundation is our legs, this time it's our arms and our head. So it's, are you able to connect yourself to all these different expressions of foundation that is available to you? So that if one thing is not available, can you find something else that you can use to ground? And how does it relate to being tied into your center? In headstand also the core is quite soft. It's engaged, it's present, it's there, but it's not squeezing for dear life because we also need the length. So it gives us that sense of connected expansion rather than contraction. So to come into the pose, hands go around the outer edges of the elbows and then they come down onto the mat. Good. From here the hands go forward, the fingers interlace and the palms open back up so that this essentially forms a basket around the back of your head. The weight goes down through the center of your head. And from here, you actively push into your elbows. So you can see when my spine is soft and my shoulders are soft, and then I actively press. The toes tuck under. I lift my hips up, and then maybe this is as far as you go. You don't need to lift all the way. We keep the right foot on the floor, and we draw the left knee into chest. Press down through your hands as hard as you can. 70 or 80% of the weight in the shoulders, 10 or 20 in the head. Holding 1 more breath. And then see if you can stretch that leg up. Holding 1, 2, 3. And then left leg comes down. Exhale, right knee to chest. Holding 3, 2, 1, and then right leg reaches up, 3, 2, 1. Good. From here, you're welcome to go into your full headstand, or if the shoulders feel tired and you've had enough for the day, you can simply come into child's pose. So here, choose what you need today. I'm going to give you 5 breaths, either in child's pose, either in headstand. So move slow. If you need the wall, take the wall. If you're ready to rest, come back to your center, connect with your breath. Either of these are fine. They're just different expressions of who you are, of your essence, different on a day-to-day basis. So either in child or in headstand, taking 2 more breaths. Letting the breath be slow, deep, steady, unrushed, wherever you are. And then if you're in headstand, gently come down. Take a few breaths in child. If you're already in child, you can slowly come up. And we're going to get ourselves ready for our final resting pose. So for this resting posture today, you're going to need a big pillow or maybe some blocks or a bolster, whatever you have handy. Anything that can lift the back of your heart and hold it there supported and open. Sometimes on a bolster you might need a pillow or a block still behind the head. And then we'll all meet here together. So whether you're coming out of child's pose or you're already set up, allow the soles of your feet to come together. And then the blocks or the pillows go behind the back of your heart, laying yourself slowly down, making sure your head is sufficiently supported so that your chin isn't all the way up here, but there's space to lengthen the neck and the chin stays a little closer to the throat. Hands can go by your side, or maybe even all the way overhead. That creates a little bit more space across the ribs. So wherever it feels most comfortable, rest your hands down. Allow the weight of your head and your heart to drop into the support beneath them. And see if you can breathe down towards the dantian, towards your reserve or sea of chi. And feeling how the shape that the energy or the prana has to move is slightly different because the breath kind of goes up, it lifts the heart, and then it pours down into the pelvis. Notice how the shape and the expression or the expansion feels different here, but the essence of the breath remains the same. And seeing if you can identify and tap into the essence of your breath. Allowing yourself to feel this slightly different expression of body, of shape, where the breath moves. But still feeling the connection between all of these spaces. And recognizing that that connection is essentially your awareness. Your awareness is the golden thread that connects it all. We'll stay here for a little bit longer. So I invite you to take this posture today as your Shavasana. Staying perhaps another 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes if you have the time. If you'd like to do your Yoga Nidra directly after, I recommend that you just remove the bolster and get yourself nice and flat and spread out for Yoga Nidra. Otherwise, you're also welcome to come off the block, maybe in 5 breaths, and have a straight down Shavasana if that feels good. Thank you so much for joining me for practice, and I'll see you on the mat again soon. Namaste.